Welcome back, guys. It's Maverick here today with another episode of Takt Opus Destiny. And yes, I know this is delayed by quite a few days, actually. I think it's like, what, 3 days since it's released? But, I was completely swamped by work this week, so now that it's the weekend, I finally have some time to record this. As I always say, better late than never, right? Longtime viewers of my channel will know. But anyways, so we had a very nice episode 1. I love the audios, I love the visuals. The visuals a little bit more than the audio. Not that I didn't like the audio, mind you guys. I do love how they're incorporating classical pieces into the scenes and whatnot, which should be a given, considering I feel like this entire series, this entire franchise, is built on classical works. It's just that I feel like they did not integrate the music into the actual fighting scenes as well as I would have thought they would, right? They kind of only use the classical pieces during the in-between part, right? The dialogues or the building of emotions and whatnot. But I was actually expecting them to incorporate it and maybe even give it a little bit of a twist, like a rearrangement or whatnot, during the actual fighting action scenes. But that is a minor nitpick, and yeah, we'll have to see what they do about it, right? Hopefully they will build up eventually to something really, really epic in the future. Now, in the first episode, we didn't really go too much into the world. I mean, what we know, we pretty much already know from the synopsis. So starting from this episode, we'll really start to see like where exactly they're going to take this story, right? Is this going to be a situation where we're introduced to many, many different characters? Music cards, I believe they're called, right? Such as the game where you have a bunch of playable characters and whatnot, and all go through their stories and whatnot. Or are we just gonna follow what looks to be like the main few characters here with Takt and Destiny Chan, right? What she call again? Cosette, and as well as Anna, right? Although I kind of feel like she's more of a supporting character. But in any case, let's just jump right into the episode. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Oh. 2037. So this is before the first episode. Alright. Oh. I'm just trying to figure out like what the background music for this is. I feel like it should be like another classical piece, an opera piece or something of that sort. Music arts that the Symphonica produced. Okay. I thought that the music art were like alien beings or whatnot, but apparently not. Hmm. By the way, I love their name, the Symphonisium, right? A play on symphony and symposium and so on and so forth. Dun, 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 dun. Wait, she seems. Cosette seems a little bit different, right? So I guess this is like a talking about before they started traveling and whatnot. Oh. But she already called. Oh, now the opening, eh? Yeah, she seems a lot more energetic than we saw in the first episode. Okay. Definitely giving off some, like, childhood friend vibes and whatnot. Alright, so I guess we will be introduced to all these... Huh, I wonder if all the ladies are music arts and all the guys are composers? Or sorry, are they called composers? No, maestros. Maestros. Conductors. Ah, that Mafu voice. Isn't that what we saw in the last episode? I seem to recall it was 2047. Oh, this is Takt's house? And here I was thinking it was like Anna's house or something. By the way, I think she's one of the girls at the funeral, right? During the funeral scene, they had a close up to two girls, two redheads. Probably Anna and her sister. So basically, Takt is a hikibori. A latte. Your late father, very... Okay, so I guess the guy who died at the beginning is Takt's father? And that was also the person who was... Oh, so was his father like that Mastro dude? That the Symphonesium were, like, mourning? So I guess his father was like a big deal or something of that sort, right? It runs in the blood or something. Oh. Okay, so I guess this is a piano concerto. So does Takt want to be a soloist? I'm sorry, my knowledge on piano pieces is fairly limited. I'm sure that is a famous piece, but I honestly can't recognize it. I mean, it seems fairly obvious it's a piano concerto, though. A Symphonica. I guess a play on the words of symposium and whatnot. 4 years since the Sagan Declaration. But I thought that, huh? I don't think that's the speech that we listened to because that was 10 years ago. Well, then why are you playing right now? I mean, I guess there is something to be said about people doing things just because they want to. They want to do it. They enjoy it. Doesn't necessarily have to be shared with others. But, you know, in this situation like this, you kind of get the feeling Tak definitely wants to play for others as well. Ah, I recognize this one though. This is Pathétique from Beethoven. Man, Cosette really loves her Beethoven, doesn't she? Like in the last episode, it was Symphony Number 5, right? Destiny and whatnot. And now she's playing Beethoven's Pathétique. Oh, are they gonna do some forehands? Or is he gonna teach her? Yeah, Pathétique. Well, personally, I like the third movement a lot more. Oh, and that's Destiny. Asahina. Right. So again, talk probably comes from a prominent family or something. Like I said, I like the third movement a lot more. Yeah, the fact that she hasn't given up on you yet, Takt. Ah. Interesting question. No comment. GM Sagan called a truce. Okay, so it's definitely not what happened 10 years ago, right? Oh. There goes his piano. It's just to get his piano back, anyways. Oh, so you're Sagan. Okay. Okay, you instantly get the feeling that this guy is bad news. The blonde-haired guy, anyways. Is she going to play first? And I can already see it. She's gonna play, she's gonna mess up, she's gonna get booed. And then Takt will show up and be like, let me do this. Oh no. I guess that's why she was practicing patatique. They're doing good so far. Oh, okay. Huh, I guess we didn't get the crimson. Okay, nice. Ah, look at that smile. So what are you gonna play? Okay, some ragtime, I guess. Actually, is this ragtime? I think it might be a little bit too slow for ragtime, but... Oh, you're in 4 hands as well. Nice. Again, I don't know this... I guess you can't really call it a piece now. It's a song, probably, but... I'm guessing that they're playing something famous. Some nice jazz. Oh, one more. Oh, okay. This song I recognize. What's it from? What's it from? Dun, dun, dun. Ah, Sing Sing Sing. Right? The Aladdin song. Dun, 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 dun. It's actually quite a famous song in Japan. One of their famous marching bands actually use it as a backing music. Tachibana High School Marching Band. If you guys know, you guys know. Well, this is definitely some definitely kind of music that you play at a festival a lot more. Ooh, he's in love. Encore? Might be an encore? Nope. D2? Yep, D2s. Huh. You would have thought that the Symphonica made sure that this place was safe from the D2s. Ah, it goes back to that blonde-haired girl, guy, right? Oh shit. I mean, obviously we still see her later, right? So, does she get, like, reborn or something? The fuck? What in the world? Oh, there's Symphony number 5. Okay. So that's what happened, eh? But wait, so does Cosette actually still exist or not? And Takt's quite quick on the uptake as well. Like, he literally, like, no shock or anything. He just recognizes what the hell that is. Okay. Um. Alright, even though this is the first time we're seeing this ending, I think I can just watch this on mine. Well, actually, hold on a second. Wait, so is it actually Cosette? Why do I feel that... I need to quickly go back and watch episode 1. I feel like her personality definitely changed drastically from what we saw in this episode. Man, I haven't heard her sing in a long time. Okay. But this is when they're already on their journey, so... Okay. Anyways, I will see you guys after this. Alright guys, so I had a quick look back at episode 1 as well as the start of this episode, and yeah, I actually missed quite a few details actually in regards to the story. Well, I guess I kind of still pieced it together, but there were like numerous hints placed around to as to the true identity of Takt and whatnot. So basically, there's this, he mentioned his family name, right, Asahina and whatnot, and apparently his dad was the dude that was killed at the very beginning of this episode as well, who apparently this Sagan guy is calling a Maestro Asahina, right? So I'm guessing that he's probably also someone, like, I'm not quite sure if they're talking about him as a maestro, as in, an actual musician and whatnot, or are they referring to him as a maestro as in, sort of like the commander of a, or the master of a music art, right? So I'm not really quite sure on this terminology part or not. Is his dad just like a normal person, or is he actually closely tied with, the music art, the symphonicas, and so on and so forth? You would think it might be the latter, considering Sagan made like a special, well, he specifically held like a funeral and heck even a press conference for this guy, and the fact that Takt himself doesn't seem too phased by Cosette turning into a music art and whatnot, like seeing the wand, the conductor's baton, he instantly knows what he should be doing. He instantly recognizes the situation. I have a kind of feeling that this is not his first foray into something like this, and potentially it might because of his father, right, of Maestro Asahina. And actually, and in the starting scenes where we see Takt playing the piano and whatnot, we do see a few photos of him with his dad and so on and so forth. But I wasn't really able to glean too many other clues from those photos and whatnot. So I guess in the end, my suspicion was correct. But I guess if I paid a little bit more attention to the fact that they mentioned Maestro Asahina at the very beginning, I would have made the connection a lot sooner. So yeah, so we got that entire thing, and obviously the big thing in this episode is we see Cosette die and then be reborn as a music art, right? And definitely, so, I mean, at least it's nice seeing how exactly the music arts are created, because, my initial thinking of this was that they were kind of like an alien sort of species, right? Similar to the D2s, alien to this world, but arriving together and whatnot. And that ties in kind of with episode 1 and what we heard about the the fairy tale, the story, right? They basically came together and so on and so forth. But apparently music arts are created, and the phonicas can create them. And here we see that I guess using that stone that Cosette has around her neck as a necklace, that's also a way for a soul to I don't know, transform into a music art or something like that. I'm assuming that later on we will get into the mechanics of this a lot more. But to me, honestly, the more pressing question is, has Cosette actually died, right? Because looking back in episode 1 and whatnot, that was not Cosette. That was definitely this I guess this sort of merge between the music art and Cosette, right? Her personality, her looks, I mean, even her looks, right? She had that, like, really weird, but actually quite cool and stunning makeup around her eyes and whatnot, like all those various colors and so on and so forth. So it's definitely not Cosette, right? And her personality was completely switched as well, from the more cheerful kind of girl into one who is much more calm, a little bit of a ditz and so on and so forth. But that's completely different styles, basically. So I'm just wondering, is Cosette actually dead here? Because that, if true, that would be quite sad and tragic, right? But then we have the ending here. And then in the ending, we clearly see that's a normal Cosette alongside Takt and Anna and traveling around the Midwest of America. So what exactly is it? I don't know. That's definitely the big question that I have right now in regards to all of this, and probably the question on most people's minds as well, right? I mean, beyond that, there are some stuff, some big question marks that are raised. Like, for instance, the fact that the Symphonica sanctioned this sort of event means that they had pretty good grasp of the situation, and they were quite confident no D2s were going to come, right? So why did the D2s come in the end here during this episode, right? And does that tie in back with when Sagan showed up and he had his, I don't know, close aide, advisor, second in command, I don't know who, the blonde-haired dude, just by the way that he talks and the way he looks and whatnot, you could tell that that guy's bad news, right? So was that just like a foreshadowing or whatnot? But more importantly, was that deliberate, or was that just prophylatic, right? So that's also another question here. Is there some funny business going on that allowed the D2s to attack the town and cause this tragedy, cause this situation, right? That's another big question mark about the story that hopefully we will learn a little bit more about in the future, right? I do suspect that eventually they will come into contact. I mean, Takt and Cosette and the others, they will come into contact with Symphonica once again, and especially for Takt, just based on his Asahina name and whatnot, I'm pretty sure that it has something quite significant to do with the Symphonica and with Sagan as well, right? At this point, I'm not quite sure like how to think of Sagan. He seems to be like this leader basically of humanity against the D2s and whatnot. But like I'm not quite sure if I should think of him as a good guy or maybe he has some other ulterior motives or so on and so forth. But so far, it seems that he's doing what needs to be done, right? But why this attack happened? That is definitely one big question mark that the Symphonica need to answer to, right? And yeah, I think that's basically it for this episode. The rest of the episode, I mean, Cosette was adorable, and really an angel in a lot of ways, because Takt is definitely not the most approachable of people. But I guess, he's had it tough as well. He lost his dad and whatnot. He obviously looks up to him very much, and so on and so forth, and that's probably also why he's shown such a big interest to music as well. But hey, by the end of this episode, it seems that we really had a thing going on. We had a thing blossoming, right? But alas, it was not to be. And also interesting choice of music in this episode as well. Classical pieces. There was the piece that Takt was playing. Dreaming of himself playing alongside a symphony. Definitely a piano concerto. I'm not quite sure what that one was. And then also Pathétique as well. Well, at least we know that Cosette really, really loves Beethoven, right? Because so far, all of the things related to her, all of the pieces related to her, were made by Beethoven and whatnot. So I guess that's just her thing, right? Because I know that her sort of a music art name is named after Beethoven's Symphony No. 5, Destiny, right? So I guess she's got to have that thing going for her where she loves Beethoven and whatnot. And presumably, future characters, they will have their unique quirk as well, like maybe one specific work, one specific piece, or perhaps one specific composer and whatnot. Beyond that, played some jazz, played some ragtime, played some sing as well. Good stuff. But, I guess that's all I can say at this point, right? We didn't really get the sort of combat scene mixed in with the music as I was hoping we would get. But presumably in the next episode, we will get to see how Takt and this newly reborn Cosette cleans up the D2s there and, everything going forward and how they eventually ended up on the road, traveling all the way to New York, right? So, yeah. I guess that's pretty much it for this episode. Let me know if I missed anything and whatnot. And yeah, that's it for this episode. Hopefully I can see you guys next week on time. But, fingers crossed, right? In any case, I'll see you guys next time. And bye-bye.